Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Marcia O'Connor.
And I'm Megan Papaleo, and today we have an awesome guest, Beth Monroe, who is the Executive Director of the Women's Resource Center. So welcome, Beth.
Thank you. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Marcia. I'm very excited to be here and to talk about the 50th anniversary celebration of the Women's Resource Center.
Well, welcome to HR After Dark. This is where we're very honest, we're very vocal, we like to have a lot of fun, and so we want to get to know you a little better too, because you're fairly new to WRC.
I am. I started October 1st, so I'm in my 7th month, I would say. So yes, I've definitely hit the ground running. Very excited, many events going on, and just kind of deep diving, learning everything. Women's Resource Center in the last 7 months. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
It's been a wild ride, yeah.
Why don't you tell us more about the WRC?
Sure.
And then we can get into you and your story.
Yep. So the Women's Resource Center, it actually began in 1975. It was started after a group of local women put an ad in the local newspaper calling on like-minded women to get together to talk about women's rights, women's issues. They actually had an amazing 45 women respond to that initial ad in the paper, and that was kind of the beginning or the start of the Women's Resource Center. So we really started out as an organization for women to come together and share resources. And now 50 years later, we not only share resources in the community, but we also offer 5 core programs within the Women's Resource Center to help women. Our mission is to help women and girls through difficult life transitions. So,
And it sounds like, oh, okay, right? But if you really take this history back a little bit and realize like how far women have come.
Yes.
You know, I didn't realize myself having a business. It wasn't until 1998 that as a female, I could open up my own business by myself.
well, I think it was 1972 or so. I think it's 1974 is when a woman was allowed to get a credit card without a male co-signer, which is
so
mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling.
And then also right around 1975 was when Title IX came about. So that was equal access to education and whatnot. So it really was, when you look back at 1975 and these women, they actually were part of the Central Baptist Church on the property that we still are located today. But they were really forward-thinking in trying to gather women together to talk about women's rights. It wasn't the norm per se back then, put it that way.
And we're further, but we still need a little help out there.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
we
still
do.
quite a path to get to.
I do too. But one of the things, you've been now 7 months there, what's the number one thing that was sort of a surprise to you?
A surprise? I would say we've come so far in 50 years, but yet there are still, I almost feel like the cultural norms and the systemic barriers that women face haven't caught up to the laws that we actually have like in place or on the books per se. So we have all these, we've gone huge strides in women's rights and just everyone's civil rights for everybody. But basically women still are facing the gender wage gap. They make 83% of what their male counterpart makes. And then we're also seen as the primary caregiver of the family unit. So, and more times than not, the woman is in a more vulnerable position because of that. So even during COVID, it was called the she session, that many women were forced for online school purposes, childcare purposes. They took a back seat in their career, which made them more vulnerable when they're going through difficult life transitions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting because the number one employee in the workforce right now is a working mother. So it's so interesting to hear, you know, it is true that so many people had to take a step back. I think this is a different this generation of dads now has been very, from my experience so far, has been catching up a bit.
Oh, I absolutely think
that.
And I have 3 sons, and I see it in my sons, and that, which is a great thing to see. Mm-hmm. The norm is no longer, it's not the 1950s and mom stays at home. They do truly know that they are an active partner in their relationship, and that's a great thing. Yes, I'm seeing that which is in my children. Yeah.
But the need for resources has not gone away.
No.
And so, can you talk about the programs? And I
Sure.
think there's something for everybody. So I really love
Yep.
everything that you're doing.
So I mentioned before we have 5 core programs. Our first program is our helpline, and it's basically the heart of the organization. Women and girls that are going through a difficult transition either reach out to us via the phone or via email. But it's basically their first touch point to the Women's Resource Center. They are answered with compassion. We will support them. We assure them that if we don't have the line of service that can help them, we will refer them and give them the resources that they need to get to where they need to go. So basically, we answered over 1,000 calls last year into our helpline.
Wow.
So yes, it's volunteer-driven, staff-supported, but volunteer-driven, so that many of our volunteers have been there. I think our oldest serving volunteer on our helpline, and we're 50 years old as an organization, and she's been there 44 years.
Oh my goodness.
Wow,
Yes.
I didn't know
Yes.
that.
It's a testament.
Yes.
That's
That's
for sure.
incredible.
Yes.
Like, you're based in Wayne, but how far away do people come to a resource like you?
So we are based in Wayne, but we serve the 5-county area. So obviously, just by default, because we're located in Wayne, we're more heavily concentrated in Wayne. But now with COVID and Zoom and online, we can access people via the internet and Zoom. We are able to kind of cast a wider net and are able to provide counseling and other programs online that we weren't able to before. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah.
That's so fun. I mean, it's just great what you're doing and all, but I don't think people realize that. And like, if people, I know we have a lot of listeners out there that love hearing all this stuff. If they wanted to get in contact with you too, like, I'm going to say it like 5 times so people know how to get a hold of you. You know, how do they get a hold of you now? What's your website?
Our website is womensresourcecenter.net. And then our phone number is, let me get to that. It is 610-687-6415.
And then you have a lot of stats on here too, and obviously you know how much I love stats. Tell us a few things on here, because I think when people start hearing the numbers, it's pretty outstanding about how much work you do to help other people. And sometimes you have to like show people what you do and how you do it, because funding, I'm sure, is always an issue.
It is an issue. Well, I'll go through it. So our first program was the helpline. Our second program is our family law program. We provided 545 free to pro bono, little to no cost family law consultations last year alone. So we never turn someone away if they don't have the means to pay for the service. So we either offer it at no cost, little to no cost, or a sliding scale based on their salary or income that they have. So that is our second program. It's our longest standing program. Our third program is our financial stability program. It was actually a direct result during COVID of women calling in asking for career advice, personal finance advice. They either didn't have credit because they didn't have access to their finances when they were in their marriage or partnership or whatever situation that they were in. We found that many of the women don't have access to the finances, and or if they do, they have to earn a credit score. Their credit has been ruined based on whatever situation they're in. So it was a direct result of women calling into the center. So we now offer career coaching, resume cover letter guidance and coaching. We coach them on how to find a job to earn a sustainable wage for themselves and their children, which has been huge. We found that over 90% of the women that are calling into the Helpline Center are considered low to very low income, according to HUD standards. So they really are. It's data, it's evidence-based that women are really vulnerable in times of difficult transition, that when they're going through a divorce, loss of a spouse, loss of a job, they are extremely vulnerable.
Oh, I have no doubt at all, for sure.
We also offer, our fourth program is our counseling program, and we've also found that women that are going through these difficult life transitions, it's usually not just one that's happening at one time. It is usually they're going through a divorce, they're fighting for custody of their children, they're looking for a job. It's many transitions going on at one time, and they really need a safe space to process the traumas that they're going through and build agency and resiliency. So that's what our counseling does, and we actually have provided, I think it was over 2,000 counseling sessions in last year alone. Yeah, so it's a lot.
The numbers are staggering.
It's a lot. The counseling program in the last 6 years has doubled in size. So we actually now, through funding from a foundation, we actually were able to hire a second full-time counselor this year. So yes, just to our caseload or our wait list
Yeah.
for women calling in waiting for counseling was up to as high as 37 waiting on the list, and
Wow.
we're now down to under 10, which is huge.
That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
It's incredible. How do you keep up?
It's very hard. It's called Kai Qualls. I don't know if you've met our director of operations and counseling. She's amazing. She is truly, I would call her like the helpline is the heart of the organization. She is the soul of the organization. She's truly an amazing human being. Yes, and she does great, great things for our clients. So.
And let's talk about that for a second. So you're coming from another nonprofit.
I am.
So you've been in the nonprofit space from a leadership perspective. What's your leadership style? How are you managing, full-time people, part-time people, volunteers? Like, what's your
Style? My style is, and I'm in a kind of a unique situation because I came into the Women's Resource Center, and all of my counterparts, my colleagues, have been there many more years than I have. So I am learning to, I lean on them for guidance and knowledge of the programs and how the Women's Resource Center, because there really is a unique way in terms of what we do for the community and women and girls. But also, so I'm learning to lean on them for guidance, but also trying to bring my new ideas and style to the role. So yes, I'm kind of threading the needle per se in that I am being looked up upon as the new leader or the new executive director of the Women's Resource Center, and yet many of the people around me have been there many, many years and know much more than I do.
that retention really says something.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
It does. Yeah.
How important the work that you're doing is, and how
Yes.
much they all love working together.
Yes. Many of our, like Mojda was a volunteer. Mojda is the director of fund development and communications. She started out as a volunteer, I believe, back in 2015.
Wow.
Was
I
a
didn't know that either.
was a volunteer on the helpline, and then became on staff. Yeah. So it's yes, people get involved and they believe in the mission and really want to do good for the community and help women and empower women.
So, other than fundraising, what roadblocks do you run into?
Roadblocks that I run into, I would say right now, funding is our biggest roadblock, just with the political environment and what's happening with government funding, even though the Women's Resource Center is largely privately funded. But there is a trickle-down effect, even though we're not heavily government funded. There will be more pressure on the private foundations and individuals. So it's just more people going for a smaller piece of the pie, per se. So that's we have to really be able to show that our mission is worth the donation, worth the funding, and that we have results, that women, and I think we have, we've had events celebrating the 50 years that we have women come in and share their impact story of how just literally firsthand how our programs have helped them get through a difficult life transition. And that really speaks volumes, and I think it helps people to understand, okay, I'm giving XYZ dollars and it's going to do this for this many women in our community. And that's huge. That's really, what we do.
Your impact conversations are quite amazing. I mean, going to that dinner event that I went to the other week, and
The networking
oh,
for
it was
impact,
amazing to hear their stories.
Yes.
But every time I hear one of those stories, I feel like just saying, how much do you need? Because I know so many women go
Yes.
through this. They do it sometimes in secret as well. And it's because they're afraid to say, did I fail? I'm like, it didn't fail. It's just how life handled certain things in your life right now.
Yes.
And I think sometimes for women, it's really hard to say that, and it's hard to have I think it's also hard the older you get too. It's also hard to even tell your friends this is happening.
Yes, and we actually, and I won't spoil the video that's coming up for the Breakthrough Breakfast, but we do have, and it's not uncommon for women to call into the helpline and say, I've been getting up the nerve to call you. It's been 5 years, 2 years. I've been wanting to do this for so long. And yes, I think there is a a stigma around women that we are expected to do it all. We can have a career, we can have a family, we can be great at everything, and it's hard for us to accept help from others. So I think it's a big step when it's a huge, huge act of courage when they call in and actually ask for help, because you are admitting, you are saying, like, I can't do this alone, and I really need a support system to get through what I'm going through. And that's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Courageous, but hard.
Yeah. Asking for help is hard.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
What's next for WRC?
What's next? We are, my goal is to continue to meet the needs of the women and girls in the community. I mentioned before that we still have so much work to do. We've come such a long way with women and we're in the workplace and our partners and what is expected of our culture. I think it's really important to just keep listening to the women that are calling into the helpline and change our programs as needed, as they are asking, like we did with the financial stability program. There was a need there, and we filled that need. So I would like to continue to always be that beacon of hope, that lifeline to these women reaching out, like, I need help with XYZ. If we can't do it and we can't find someone to help them, we will do. We'll make sure they get done what needs to be done.
I'm so excited to see what's going to happen in the next 50 years. And obviously, we love the organization. We think that I think for me, the reason I wanted to get involved was because I feel blessed and lucky that I have not had to have to call the Women's Resource Center, and it's a way of, what can I give in, how can I give back some of the things that I've learned along the way because from my parents or from my colleagues or whoever it is, and I feel like many other women probably would feel connected in that way. Mm-hmm. So.
We are super excited, I have to say. I have to say thank you for being the chair of the Breakthrough Breakfast Committee. You are an amazing asset, and the breakfast is going to hit it out of the park all because of you, Meghan. So thank you.
No. It is a team effort.
You're very talented.
Say thank you.
Yes.
Just say it.
You know that thing about asking for help or accepting compliments is one of those too. No, it is a great team, and I always say the staff. And
it is a great team.
What I said last year, the staff is so incredible. It's such a lean team.
It is a very lean
what
team.
you can accomplish is just incredible, and I think you've been an amazing asset to the organization.
Thank you.
And it just makes me excited for the next 50 years and all the things.
Bring it on.
So a couple other things that I think about top of mind for what the WRC could use for this year are volunteers. Always looking for volunteers.
Yeah. Always.
And
there is something
corporate sponsors.
for everyone. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So talk about volunteers.
So for volunteers, we are actively looking for committee members. We are looking for helpline volunteers. We actually have interns, college students that are home for the summer. We can find something for you to do. Data entry, you name it. Reach out, and we will find a good fit for you. There is a volunteer form on our website. You can fill that out and send it in electronically, or just email me directly, beth@womensrc.org, and I can make sure that we get the right fit for you. But we are actively looking we have 8 committees right now that range from fund development, Breakthrough Breakfast Committee, Governance Committee, Finance Committee. What are the other committees? There's so many.
Breakthrough Breakfast.
Breakthrough Breakfast, yes.
Yep.
I said all the committees.
Yeah, you did. You said everything. I'm like, that's a lot of committees. We always need volunteers.
Yes.
And we need corporate sponsors.
Yes.
We need corporate sponsors, and we need people who love fundraising to always help. And so.
Yes. I invite you to get involved. The more you get involved, you really see what the mission of the Women's Resource Center does and how we truly help women and girls in the community.
You sure do.
I love it. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for joining us today. We're so excited for the next 50 years, and we're going to continue to be a part of your journey and help however we can.
Yeah. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
And can I say I'm excited to hear your story? And I know that you are very instrumental in empowering women. So we are fortunate to have you as a 50th
believer.
Anniversary sponsor and being so involved with the event. So
my
thank
pleasure.
you.
My pleasure.
We do hire men here for the record.
We do. We have 5.
We have 5. But
I have 54, but we have 5.
Yeah.
So they like it. They're treated very well. So, yes, they know it too.
Yeah.
So it's too funny. But thank you again.
tell everybody again how they can get in touch with you.
Yep.
So you can get in touch with us at womensresourcecenter.net, or you can call us at 610-687-6415, or just email me at beth@womensrc.org.
Yay.
Yay.
It's
Well,
awesome.
thank you. Thanks for being here today.
All right.
And that's it. We're going to do our wrap up. Don't
Yeah.
forget, I'm Marcia.
And I'm Megan, and thank you for joining us for HR After Dark, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.